Yes, Debbie. That's the mood today. Truth is, I don't celebrate the 4th of July, but to all of you who do, happy 4th. And for those of you who are trying to figure out what I'm drinking, it's tea, my nigga. Hey, what's up, Jersey? That's my East Coast, my riders. I be trying to tell y'all. So, while I have been on Silent Hill for the last 2 weeks, shout out to all my, first and foremost, let me start like this. I always pray before I get on here. That's number one. I don't pray when I get on here no more. I pray before I get on here. Number two, everybody who's watching, thank you for your views, your likes, your shares, whatever it is. I'm grateful. New and old subscribers, I'm grateful and thankful for you. Anyone who has ever donated to my channel in the spirit of love, I'm grateful and thankful. I'm walking in love. I'm just on savage mode right now. I'm not in a mode to play any games. I do kind of feel like hooking up my PlayStation, but I ain't gonna do it. Fun fact about me: when I fix natural tea, I have to take the bag out and chew on it. I got several things that I want to share with y'all today. Is that all right? I know it's nighttime for a lot of y'all. Sun is still up where I'm at. It's going down. I had some errands I had to run today. I was real glad that clothing stores and Walmart and shit was open. I was like, thank God. Niggas ain't really into the 4th like that no more. I don't know why I was happy about that, but I just was. And so, I was cartwheeling or whatnot. I mean, in my head, because I really wasn't doing that shit. I've kind of been in savage mode for a minute. I'm going to tell y'all this. Sometimes when you are coming from one space in your life, going to another space in your life, sometimes God will allow for you to be on savage mode. And I'm choosing to take that golden ticket and ride on the savage train. And my savage mode right now is on God level. Straight the fuck up. I was driving home. I had about 30 minutes to think to myself. I had been playing Mary J. Blige for I don't know how long. 2 songs in particular in rotation for me. I have been playing back to back to back. When I was a little girl, I had about 4 or 5 albums that I can count, that I can rattle off right now, that was extremely influential to the way that I heard music, the way that I write, the way that I express, the way that I compose. About 4 or 5 albums. One of those albums was the My Life album. I was a little kid when that album came out. And that album for me kept me from offing myself. I'm going to say that again. If it was not for y'all, that My Life album, as a kid, I felt like if that was the last album I could listen to and then take myself up on out of here, that I was cool with that. Because that album, I did not realize as a kid was helping me deal with some shadow work then. I didn't know. I was young. I didn't know what the fuck shadow work was. Again, I was a kid, but I understood everything. Life can be only what you make it. That was one of my favorite songs off that album. When you're feeling down, you should never fake it. Say what's on your mind, and you'll find in time that all the negative energy, it'll all cease. And you'll be at peace with yourself. For real, yes you will. Listen, that song, My Life, kept me. Ironically, it was a depressing song to me. But ironically, that song is the song that actually kept me from taking me up out of here as a kid. Now, mind you, let me give you a little background story. When I was 4 years old, I was kidnapped by my daddy. The next 4 years after that, I had to learn how to be older than what I was. I was in survival mode from a child. And I didn't realize that my ass never got up out of fucking survival mode. So as I'm driving, and yeah, I'm a little on edge right now, so y'all just gonna have to deal with this shit. Because maybe this is gonna free somebody today. My father kidnapped me from Detroit, Michigan, and brought me back down to this podunk ass town, rural town in Louisiana. And for 4 years, I had to fight for my fucking life. I didn't have a mama or a daddy. And as I was driving today, it hit me. it hit me. It hit me real good. I made my 9th birthday in Cali. Because by that time, my mom had came back and act like she wanted my daddy back in order for us to run away and relocate without it being a physical issue between my mother and my father. Like, it was disgusting. I had to learn how to do a lot of things as a kid that I should not have done when I was a kid. I should have been able to enjoy myself. But like a lot of us, we got to grow the fuck up quick. Because if we don't, it's like you run the percentage of perishing or being turned into something you don't want to be turned into. And so I had to learn real fast. I had to grow up real fast. I was very quick on my feet in learning things. So by the time I got to Cali, I had still retained my gullibleness, if that's a word. I still looked at, I was 8. I hadn't turned 9 yet. I still looked at everybody as if it was I tried to look at everybody through sunshine and roses lenses. I'm still a kid, so I thought I was able to do that. That I would have the ability to do that it wouldn't count against me. Nevertheless, I paid for it through the years. And it wasn't until last year that trauma in my marriage caused those glasses to fall off of my face and break on the ground. So, fast forward to today. After I was going about in what we call the Matrix, I had to plug in and go outside and hurry up and hide myself and do what the fuck I needed to do in this world so I can hurry up and come back and unplug so I can keep some of my sanity. I was in don't touch me mode, don't come on the same aisle as me. You know how when somebody come on the same aisle, I'm wearing my sunglasses, I kind of look at them, Then I started going in my mind, I bitch move. I want you to get up off the... Yeah, I was in that mode. I just didn't feel like, yeah. So anyway, it hit me. It hit me like a ton of bricks. That I really am recovering from being a narcissistic supply. I'm going to say that again for somebody. Because somebody who's watching this or will be watching this was wondering where you fell on the spectrum because somebody lied to you and told you was the narc. You about to get this work today, baby. I'm here to tell you, you ain't the narc. You were groomed to be the supply. Because 9 times out of 10, you came from a family dynamic where 1 or 2 parents were narcissists. Uh-oh. Let's break this chain. Hold on. I got you. Hold on. You want to hear? Here we go. Double Dutch, bitch. We're about to get into it. Somebody need this. Somebody need it fast. Yes, this is my dress. Yes, this is my pants. I don't like putting certain things in the dryer because I believe they can either shrink or get them little lint balls, and I don't like that shit. So I let these things dry. We don't have a clothesline. I'm not going to put one up because this ain't my fucking house, and I ain't trying to remodel and do nothing that nobody else can benefit off of when my motherfucking ass leave from this hole. So I'm just putting my head down, putting my church finger up, and I'm moving around this bitch quietly. You understand? Until it's time for me to fucking bounce. Because let me tell you what's going on. Some of y'all, listen. Some of y'all are like me, where you had to start and reset over because you found out you was married to a narc. And all of a sudden you had a traumatic awakening, a tower moment that made you step back and start seeing people and shit for what the fuck it was, right? And now you see that you ain't had nobody that was around you for you. Okay? Now watch this. My father, who said to me before he died, actually he was talking to my ex-husband at the time, had revealed a piece of information that I've never heard my father said. And out of all of my years of living, it was at this moment that I found my father to be the most vulnerable. While battling stage 4 cancer, confined to a wheelchair, could barely walk on his own, he looked at my ex-husband and he said, "Son, I always felt like I was a motherless child." He never went into real details as to why. But apparently, out of 9 to 10 children, my father was the youngest born. So apparently, he was the one who always, quote unquote, got his way. This is how it was told to me. Background check, right? As far as I can remember when I was a kid, y'all know I've praised my daddy on this channel a lot. But the truth be told, It took for me to go through a traumatic experience where my life was threatened in my marriage, to where I had to hurry up and run and disconnect from everything I knew and leave everything behind. And let me throw out this question for any of you judicial, legislative, or executive folks that may be watching this channel at this time. What woman you know that is financially secure is going to uproot her kids and herself and leave everything she worked hard for behind if she ain't in danger? You answer me that question. Don't worry, I'll wait. Because I don't know not a now smart woman that would leave their shit behind unless they were in trouble. Okay, so let me back up. Somebody gonna get this work. My daddy was a narc. Y'all, I tried to part the hair and grease the scalp and try to change it. I kept trying to flip-flop shit and rework shit. Listen, I tried to cut the pie in a triangle, in a square, in a star shape, it was still a pie. In other words, I had to call it for what it was. I couldn't dress this thing up. I couldn't make it look cute. I couldn't put a dress on it. I couldn't put a bow tie on it. Baby, it was what it was. My daddy was a fucking narc. My dad would promise me to pick me up, and I would be on the steps waiting for him to show up. And the mosquitoes would be biting my ass up. That motherfucker would never come. By the time he showed up after all those empty promises, he would knock on the door and be like, "You ready to go, Lil Blue?" Because, listen, my daddy's name was Blue. I was always Lil Blue. Since I was born, nobody on my father's side called me Jessica. Everybody still to this day calls me Lil Blue. On my daddy's side. I never had my own identity. I've always been Lil Blue. Maybe I always will be. Not that would define me. I'm still proud of my roots. But the way I'm looking at it, I kind of had to question my ancestors, like, so none of y'all could have fixed this? Listen, y'all sitting here like, oh, she being disrespectful. No, I'm not. Your ancestors want you to work with them. They want you to help them. They want you to burn ancestor money to them so you can raise their vibrations. I got questions. You better start asking your ancestors questions so you know how to move in these streets. You understand? You better ask questions. How the hell do you think you're going to heal something correctly if you ain't got the proper way on how to? You know you got a cut. You know you got a wound. You know to go and get that peroxide, but where you going to put it? If you know you cut up, but you don't know where you cut up, where you going to put the shit? So you just gonna do the shotgun approach and just start hoping that you hit something? No, I want to know where I'm pouring this shit at. Where is the wound so I can keep it from getting infected? Because prevention is better than cure. But I digress. My father was a narc. I praised my daddy. Even though my daddy wasn't shit. Yeah, I said it. My daddy wasn't shit. I made him to be something in my mind. Because I was, my perception was tainted. I needed somebody that was a direct branch from me on this family tree to be glorified. I tried. So I thought maybe putting my daddy on the pedestal was going to work. No, bitch. It didn't. It actually just covered up the fact that I married my daddy in another body. My earthly father. And because I did not know and I was blind, because all I thought was, well, love. Y'all, I was abandoned. I was always called weird. I was always rejected by my family. Everybody always act like they was too scared to be around me or play with me. And the cousins that I did play with always turned on me. So I was always in tears for my fucking childhood. Ain't enough playing in the mud, dirt, or sand could actually bring smiles to my face and make it permanent about my childhood. I had more tears than smiles. Somebody say, well, you need to be thankful for the good time. Don't tell me what the fuck to be thankful for. I am thankful that I'm alive. That's good enough at this point. Because the shit I've been through, some of y'all would have took it to the head real quick. Because I'm only giving you surface level shit. If you really want to know the truth. This ain't nothing but surface level shit. And I'm driving home. And it has not been peaceful between my mother and I. I got to tell the truth and shame that God gonna have to just help me. When you got a parent who is literally taking your kids and turning your kids against you and then telling you that I didn't do that, you did that on your own. What grandparent do you know would allow their grandchild to be disrespectful to their child and uphold that disrespect unless they're benefiting off of that? So again, as I'm driving home today, I'm realizing that I grew up in a family dynamic of narcissists. Watch this. I'm about to hurt somebody's feelings and I'm about to help you all in one go. You ready? Oh, clutch your invisible pearls. You ready? I grew up with a outwardly narcissistic father and a covert narcissistic mother. Yes, I said it. My mother is covert. My father was openly. Oh, bloop. Somebody didn't get the memo, but it's going to hit you after you tune off of this bitch. Because it's going to hit you soon enough. And those type of people make you feel like you the narc. You ain't the narc. Let me tell you what that is. Let me tell you how I know. There's only two ways, there's only two columns you're going to fall into when you grow up in a narcissistic family dynamic, okay? Number one, you either become a narc just like them, or you are unknowingly being groomed to be a supply for a narc. Okay, let me help you. Let me help you again, cause somebody else didn't get it. So let me resurrect. You ready? You either become the narcissist, a product of the environment, or because they can't break you, and God is keeping you so much and making sure that innocence, that thing is being so protected that they see that they can't beat you, so they don't join you. What they do is they step back, they get silent, and they turn you into a supply. So did you get it? Okay. I felt it in your spirit. You got it. Okay. So as I was growing up, I didn't realize all my life that I had been gaslit. I went through series of gaslightings from both parents. I had a father who was never there. I had a mother who was financially present but was never there. She was always working. Of course, she was a single parent mother at this point because my parents got divorced at 11. I never will forget. It hurt my heart to see her on the phone with her girlfriend, happy, waving the divorce papers when we were in Vallejo, California. I will never forget that shit. It hurt me because I thought I came from a product of love. I didn't. Y'all listen to me. As a kid, I'm not lying to y'all. I really did not know nothing else. I really didn't. Even going through, by the time I had left, by the time my father kidnapped me, I was already molested twice. By a family member and then a family friend. My auntie's son molested me first. And then my brother's friend, who used to come over to the house and play video games, molested me. I think his name was Corey. So by the time my father took me, I was molested already. Nobody in the house seen or said nothing. They didn't get any clues. They didn't get any nothings. So you bring me back to Louisiana, and then I get molested by a girl cousin on my father's side. First cousin, by the way. So now I'm 3 molestations in and I'm only 4. And I'm crying because at this point I'm not as hurt anymore as I used to be. I'm fucking angry. I'm angry because when I look back, that little girl was not protected at all. I wasn't protected at all. I was not protected at all. So when you got a little black girl who's coming from a bullshit ass family, whose mother on this side come from, watch this. This is how fucked up this dynamic gonna get. My mother comes from a background of 16 children. She's the 8th born of 16 kids. My mother fell smack in the middle, cancer sign now, who had to raise all of the kids that was born after her. Didn't get a thank you, didn't get a nothing. And then the mom comes back in the house and is upset that the other kids that she had after my mother is looking at my mother more of as a mother than they are their real mother. And so now that jealousy dynamic plays in. My grandmother treats my mom like shit, and then she's pouring all this hatred and jealousy and shit into my mother. And now watch this. As my mother gets older, she moves away, tries to transmute it as best as possible, but really doesn't really do whatever she's supposed to be fucking doing, whatever. And I'm tired of using that excuses. She did the best she could with what she had. Sometimes people don't do shit. All they worry about is them, their well-being, their this, their that, and then their fears start to consume them, and they stop doing the work. And then that's when they freeze in time. Now, I'm not saying she's not redeemable or any of that other shit. I don't give a fuck at this point, because I'm only worried about me. And that's in a healthy way. I can't be worried about people who ain't worried about themselves anymore. You understand? Because let me tell you something. I didn't get no fucking therapy. My mama wasn't looking. I had to sit on the couch and tell my mama what happened to me. I didn't get no therapy. I didn't get no hugs and no pats on the back and no baby, it's gonna be all right. I told her and it was what it was. So I had to grow up in the streets. You go check out what kind of streets Vallejo, California was in the fucking 90s. You tell me if I had it good then. And I lived in the fucking projects, my nigga. I went from living on 106 Evergreen Way to 1919 Carolina Street. We moved in with my aunt and my uncle. My uncle used to be a professional boxer. We moved from there where I could walk to school and it was just there to now I gotta walk 1.5 miles away from school. And I'm walking to school in elementary. And ain't no junior high or high school, my nigga. I'm a little kid walking by myself. And I'm, mind you, walking down the same street that a little Mexican girl named Mitzi Sanchez actually got abducted on and was on the Oprah show and lived to tell about it. Because God was watching over her. I walked down that same street that little girl was abducted on. So that's how you know God is real. So again, by the time I'm 4, I done had 3 molesters already. So by the time I get to Cali, I'm questioning my sexuality at this point. Because I don't know if I like girls or not. Now, for some of you LGBT people, listen, I love you. But this is my truth. I didn't know whether or not I was a lesbian, bisexual, or heterosexual because I was molested by both genders. And that's just my truth. It's the first time I've ever said this in my life, and this is what the fuck it is. You can either take it or leave it. Now, I'm not saying everybody who's bisexual or gay had been sexually molested, but unfortunately in the black household, usually that's what leads us there. And I, for one, can say that is a righteous experience. What I'm saying is that is an experience that can lead you there. Just like we got what we call gateway drugs. You understand? It's just what it is. I've met somebody who was not molested that is a gay man. Some people are that's just what they want. And that's fine by me. I don't give a fuck. I don't pay your bills. But this is my experience. So from 4 years old, I had to fight to not be this gutter snipe, to not be this hard in your face, like, you know what I'm saying? I had to fight that shit. So I got picked on a lot in elementary school because I was the weird kid who liked white people shit, who listen, I was doing shit when it wasn't popular, yo. Like, I was painting every finger a different color. I was getting laughed at for that in school. I liked my hair braided with beads and shit. Kids was looking at me like I was crazy. I was different. I was weird. And I tried my best to be somebody else that I wasn't, because I wanted to fit in. I couldn't quite do it. I would always, some kind of way, revert back to myself, and myself was always weird. So I had to try to find something else to hold on to so I could fucking survive. So the damage that my grandmother done to her daughter started being done to me, because I had to realize that hurting people hurt people. And when you don't do the work and you don't heal, you start to perpetuate what was done to you as a means to try to get that monkey up off your back. So through elementary school and junior high, I went through a very weird phase. I remember one of my first moments in junior high school. I was scared. My school was huge. Felt like I was walking through a mall. And I will never forget these two Filipino kids. Me and my friend was walking to class, and I'll never forget, I guess this Filipino kid had dared his friend to just pick a random person and punch them in the stomach. And I was the one who was chosen. He walked right up to me and punched me as hard as he could in my stomach, and I will never forget that I cried. I went to the principal's office. I told the principal, who was a black man, by the way. So I don't want to hear that bullshit about we ain't got black men in the school system, and that's why the school system is failing. Fuck all that nigga shit. That's a cop-out excuse. Because not all black men is going to do their job if they got a position. Because I sure went and told that motherfucker what happened to me, and he just told me, go to class, you'll be all right. I never had anybody to protect me. So this reinforces, fuck, not want to come in this motherfucking crime. So that reinforces for me, ain't nobody here to protect me. So I'm going through junior high school being bullied. Yo. At the age of 12, I'm even being bullied for still being a virgin. At the age of fucking 12, my nigga. Who at 12 is trying to lose their virginity? Like, what the fuck? That's not even on my mind. At 12? I wasn't even taught about my menstrual cycle, so when I had my period, I'm fucking crying because I think I'm about to die. I didn't know shit. So I use these moments because I had to take this stuff and relive it as when I had girls, because I had to prepare my girls for certain things, you know. I had to go to their school and act a fool during the beginning of the year, like, hey, look, you better treat her like you would treat yours until I show up, because if it's going to be something about mine and I don't play about mine, all y'all motherfuckers going to get it. I used to have to go to their school like that at the beginning of the year, like, I want y'all to know I don't play about my kids. I will shut all this shit down. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to let them know I'm that kind of parent. I know y'all used to parents now, them young ass parents who don't give a fuck. And they're letting the TV and social media raising their children. But I'm very hands-on with mine. I don't play that shit. So this is what I, you know, and I hate that I had to do that. But because now these schools feel like, well, the parents don't give a fuck, so why should we? Well, you know, we're just going to show up for our paycheck. And I'm like, what is it about these days? So I was picked on and bullied. I was picked on and bullied my entire junior high school years. I hated it. I hated school. I ended up failing the 8th grade because this is one of the other things that I had to realize when I was driving home. Every time a teacher would call my mom and say something, she would not dig to see what was going on. Some of y'all parents need to start digging and stop just taking teachers' word for. Sometimes it ain't your child, it's the teacher. My mom will always take the teacher side because in her mind I was a fuck up. Out of me and my brother, I was the rebellious fuck up. Because I didn't know that I was the scapegoat. I was the black sheep. Y'all, let me tell y'all. Tell y'all something. Y'all see this here? I am the way I am because I could not allow the controlling ways of my mother to make me docile. I watched my mother put a video game in front of my brother when we was kids. And she used that as a means to keep him out of the streets, thinking that it was going to keep him from becoming a statistic. A father of a child with a woman that he wasn't married to, keep him out of jail, keep him off of drugs. It did. But it kept him stuck and locked the fuck up. And now you got somebody who do this all the fucking time and don't want nothing else out of life. So then when they don't do what you want them to do, then they're the fuck up. I had to rebel my way into freedom. I don't know who this is for, but I promise you this better touch somebody. Because all this fucking crying and shit I ain't trying to do. If I ain't, I'm going to tell you. I tell you. Because I don't like people seeing me cry. I don't like people seeing me cry. I had to rebel my way into freedom. I am not playing with y'all. So to this day, I am still the fuck up in her eyes. To this day, I'm the no good child. I am the curse. She called me that not too long ago. I am the demon in her eyes. I don't do nothing but shut the fuck up, go to work, put my head down every day. I don't say nothing to nobody. I don't bother nobody. I sit still. I hear the snickers. I watch the eye rolls. I hear the comments. And I still say nothing. You know, because though I am in savage mode, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, you know? But I realized that I was bullied into believing that standing up for myself was disrespect. And that God was going to strike me down for it. I would hear her throw the Bible verses all the time about how I'm shortening my life. All this other stuff. I remember I used to be so scared. I used to get on my knees and cry out to God. God, don't kill me, please. God, don't shorten my life, please. Because she had embedded this shit in my head, and I'm in my 30s, and I still struggle and wrestle with believing that. So sometimes it's hard for me to take up for myself when it comes to her because, you know, I just don't want to be, I don't want God to strike me. And it's funny how people can use religion as a means to tell you, no, no, no. It's funny how people, see, like right now, she trying to use my son to get me up off this lie. Little did I know, she follows me on YouTube. So she would watch my lives. Because one day I rolled up on her. I was in the kitchen and I heard it playing. And she stopped it. It's funny, ain't that? Funny, huh? But I got to tell my truth because I'm tired of holding it in. Close the door. So I didn't try to get close to my father until he passed. Before he passed, I'm gonna give y'all a background because I need y'all to see where I'm going with this. I gotta kind of revisit some things. It's like a Six of Cups memory here. My father got sick allegedly because of Morton salt. So here, my father used to work on an island called Avery Island here, okay? Avery Island is also where the Tabasco, you know, Tabasco hot sauce, that's where it comes from, Avery Island. Not too far, you know. So when I was little, I did not know when I was newborn. My father used to work in the salt mines. So he used to have to go under the ground, in the mines, and use a blaster and asbestos to blast into the ground and blast into these mines to harvest the salt. So when that was out of season, my father would be working at the sugar mill. Okay? My father would be working at the sugar mill. So if he wasn't providing salt, he was providing sugar. Now, my father only had a 5th grade education because my grandmother, his mom, ended up becoming blind while he was still young because she was a bad diabetic, and she ended up having to get one of her legs cut off. And watch this, therefore, she could not work in the field for massa. Did you hear what I just said? So my father had to take her place. Don't tell me slavery ain't real. according to my father's lineage, I'm the first freeborn. You understand? My father worked fucking fields. You hear me? I'm the first freeborn generation to have both sides. You understand? Shit is real. Some of y'all ain't even catch that. We'll revisit that later. So my father had always was working around chemicals because whether it's salt harvested or sugar harvested, it still has to be processed, which of course, this is where being white come from. So he's working with chemicals on both sides. So my father passed away from mesothelioma, lung cancer that spread to the rest of his body because of working with chemicals. Now, they tracked it back allegedly to Morton Salt. So he died with a pending lawsuit. So my father would use this lawsuit, this pending lawsuit, and throw it around his kids. Now, I'm going to say his biological children because I have 3 older siblings that I don't fuck with and I don't know and I don't want to know. They're all toxic and I just don't. I just don't. I'd rather not open that up. When I was born, they was damn near grown. And I was the only one reaching out to get to know them. I remember sneaking in the club with my sister, my firstborn sister. I remember I was 16, 15 up in Mr. P's. And I remember this girl was talking about, there was some talks about somebody trying to jump my sister because allegedly she had a child with a married man or whatever. And I didn't give a fuck if me and my sister was never really that close. You weren't going to jump my sister with me around. That's just how I had, was looking at it. So me and her was chopping it up all night. Like, yeah, I know I ain't even supposed to be in this motherfucker. They didn't snuck me in this bitch. But guess what? We about to, because I was hanging with my cousins at the time. You know how you do. Shut up. We all got that story. So I always used to try to reach out as the best as I could to my siblings, including my firstborn brother, Snoopy. I tried my best to gain a relationship with him, his wife, his children, and it just would never really stick. It was always something like a grudge or a jealousy and I tried my best with all of them. And it really came to a head during my father's funeral when he started a lie, spreaded the lie, and told the family, don't speak to Jessica. So I was at my father's funeral, sitting on the front seat with nobody. Nobody wanted to talk to me. Nobody wanted to, nothing. And the irony is, all of them was waiting. They was trying to keep my daddy alive to get this fucking settlement from Morton Salt. And I had to tell my daddy one day, I said, for the first time in my life, I actually called him daddy because I always called him Blue. I said, Daddy, there's not an amount of money you can throw around to keep me around. I'm around because I want to be around. I don't give a fuck about no settlement check. Because unfortunately, my other siblings got the relationship that I wanted out of my daddy when he was healthy. I got a partial of that relationship while he was sick. Nevertheless, I was so desperate for a relationship with my daddy. I didn't care that he was halfway out the door. I was just happy to have him, But it wasn't until he was on his way out the door that I realized something spiritually was wrong. Because there's a part in the Bible where it talks about a father's blessing. This is Abraham blessing his son Isaac, the promised son. And I used that as a reference to ask him to bless me. So I got down on both of my knees and I asked my daddy to bless me, to pronounce a blessing over me, because I knew he was on his way out of here. And do you know that when my daddy put his hands on my head He said my name, Jessica. And then he tried his best to speak a blessing, and he kept. He couldn't. He couldn't. And then he started speaking perfect English after that. He could not speak. He was not speaking in tongues. My father was not spirit-filled, so I don't want to hear that shit either. And if he was, I ain't never heard him speak in no tongues. So I'm telling you, looking back, hindsight is 2020. I didn't know back then, but now I understood. Now doing some research, I understood. I understood that my father's lineage played a big part into why he could not speak a blessing over me, because he was one of the reasons why, as a child, I was spiritually sacrificed. I've shared that before on this channel. I never really got extremely deep into it. Allegedly I was supposed to be a physical sacrifice. I won't go into details. When it comes to that. Anyway, so he could not pronounce a blessing over me because he was the reason, he was one of the sources of why my life was, anyway. I never looked at my father for his money, he didn't get it. He died with a pending. Who gives a fuck about who cared? Anytime somebody trying to keep me alive so they can benefit off of something I'm getting ready to get, I have a problem with that. And it took my father to, pass on to see all his children was fucking vultures except for me. Yo, I used to literally go to my daddy's house and I would literally be walking into a fucking whirlwind. My brother would be yelling at my stepmama and his and my sister, and it would just be a fight and all this other shit, and they would bring that negative shit around my dad. My dad couldn't even heal if he wanted to because the environment was not conducive for him to heal. When I would come there, he would say it would be peaceful. I never asked my daddy for nothing. I never put any stress on him. Nothing. And looking back, when I walked in that motherfucking room, everybody had to be at peace. Because I was never a thermometer. I was always the thermostat. I'm changing that motherfucking atmosphere. Because, bitch, if you want me around, nigga, it ain't going to be none of that toxic shit. Because I'm not about to tolerate that. We getting a little bit too mature for that shit. You understand? So, I sat, I never will forget, the night before my daddy's funeral, my brother called me on the phone. God had already alerted me and told me, your brother gonna be on some bullshit. He's gonna try to rile you up and start some shit to get you to say some things so he can have leverage to tell the family not to talk to you. And the way that I handled it, he got on the phone. What is this I'm hearing about you saying this and that about me? Da 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 da. I said, hold on. I said, hold on. I said, Snoopy. I said, are you calling me about my daddy's casket colors? Are you calling me about the floral arrangements? Are you calling me about the time that it's going to start? If you're not calling me about these things, don't call me at all. I don't give a fuck what you heard. Nigga, I ain't validating or turning anything back around. Anybody who know me, I'ma say it to your motherfucking face, my nigga. I don't have time to be calling somebody else and saying I said this, when I can come straight to you and handle that. You understand? I didn't have no beef with my brother. I ain't got beef with my brother. I just don't want to be dealing with toxic ass motherfuckers. Period. I told him, if it ain't about those things, we can hang this shit up. Well, I just heard. I said, I don't get into those things. Are we done? Well, okay. I'll see you tomorrow. Click. That's exactly how I handled that. It was a done deal. Next day, I go to the funeral. They all looking at me crazy. They all treating me like shit. Talking. Nobody really wanted to talk to me. They put me on the front row. My own aunt, my father's sister, they put her on side of me, and she gripped her purse like I was a fucking thug. You sat on side of me at my daddy's funeral and treated me like a redheaded stepchild. That was so painful. They put my sister on this side of me. My firstborn sister. And I would never forget. They was the beginning. I told everybody in the family I did not want to sing at my daddy's funeral. I don't think I can take it. I had already told myself after I buried my daughter that I was not going to funerals. And you know, it was my daddy, so I was gonna go to this funeral because it was my father. I had not been to my daughter's funeral was the last funeral that I had sang at before I sang, you know. I was hoping they would have respected my wishes, but no. They called me up there to sing anyway. Okay. I never will forget they was closing that casket in the beginning. And I lost it. I felt alone. My son wants to come in here with me, y'all. I'm not letting him come in here with me. He would be a distraction. He think I'm about to leave. I ain't about to leave. So you're going to hear Baby Mystic in the background. I felt alone. I had a bunch of family members there. I'm going to tell y'all this. My own husband was there. And he didn't sit with me. He sat in the back. He did not sit with me. I'm telling you, listen to me. Y'all, he was there, but sat in the back. I asked him to sit with me. And he did. So I don't want to hear no definitions of family. Family will fuck you raw with no petroleum jelly and all the spiritual transmitted demons they possibly can't. They don't give a fuck about you. I don't want to hear shit about no damn family. I don't believe in family. Because that's what has been fighting against me all my life. I had people fighting against me when they laid eyes on me when I was fucking born, bro. I ain't did him shit. I don't want to hear no. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing about no fucking family, bro. Family was not there for me when I had to bury my child. And these same people will run to you, bro. You know that same auntie that sat on side of me and treated me like I was a fucking stranger in the elevator? She ended up dying less than a month apart from my daddy. And her daughter called me to ask me to sing at her mama's funeral. And I said, after how y'all treated me at my daddy's funeral, don't call me for shit. And I hung up. Yes, I did say that. Sometimes you got to get savage on people because they'll use their tears to try to pull you in, knowing that you are an empath. All they want to do is suck you the fuck dry because they ain't got no goodness about themselves. I was born, man, when I'm telling you, man, that movie, this is why I love Disney movies. I don't care how y'all feel about them. I don't give a fuck. That damn Trolls, the first one, telling you that shit is prophetic, bro. That shit is prophetic. I was born in a family full of Bergens. On both sides, period. Who the fuck is gonna... Who gonna help you when you supposed to be Princess Poppy? Like, you're not allotted to... That's toxic positivity. You're not allotted to have bad days, bad moments, bad times. Yo, all I'm saying is this. This revelatory drive that I had today was... I'm glad I'm not a narcissist. That's the beauty of the revelation, but I didn't realize that I was being prepped and primed to be a fucking narcissistic supply. You know, I didn't know. I've had so many. I got family members right now that's watching me right now. Y'all motherfuckers don't think I don't know. I can feel you hoes watching me. Cause y'all be praying for my downfall. Y'all pray. Y'all be doing spells while I'm live, wanting to see if that shit gonna work. Bitch, you gonna fry in hell. You hear me? Over and over again. You shitty mouth having ass bitch. And I know who y'all are. That's the killer. That's the kicker part, bro. I know who they are. And you gotta sit around here act like you dumb. I'm tired of that shit. The irony is, I don't believe in the 4th of July. But yet, it is the signification for freedom of America, apparently. And apparently, I guess this revelation came to me today for me to be free. And to help somebody else get free, because I'm tired of holding this shit. But I'm going to tell y'all something. The God I knew through my parents, that religious God, was a very strict, not so loving God. That God was not quick to forgive or love. That God just wanted you to do what you were told. Shut the fuck up, sit down, and don't say nothing. Everything is a sin. Remember, everything is a sin. That's what God... let me say the reason why I'm saying it like this. Your parents are supposed to be a reflection of God until you can foster your own relationship with God. And my relationship with God through the reflection of my parents was not a so loving. Was not so loving. So by the time I had to run out of this marriage last year, less than a year ago, mind you, I started having my own revelatory knowledge of who God really was. which was the total opposite of what I thought. And I started to understand how real the spiritual world was. Because before I fled Arizona, I started to see people with wings on their backs. I would be sitting and I could stare at somebody and see wings and see that they were demons. That this person had incarnated in this body as a fallen angel. Listen, I don't give a fuck if you think. At this point in my life, I have suffered so much. I don't give a fuck if you think I'm weird, nigga. I will be that. Do you hear me? I don't care. Starship, spaceship, Star Trek, Yoda. I don't give a fuck. I don't live off of the opinions of people anymore. I used to. I can care less. Because when I did care, people only wanted to hurt me. And I don't care. I can't afford to care anymore because it would break me if I gave a fuck. So I can't afford to care. I got to be authentically me. At all costs. I'm trying my best. You said it's time for me to get up out of here. I'm trying my best to get up out of here. Trust me. I'm saving every penny I can. Literally. Y'all don't know what it feels to get your shit up out the mud. Some of y'all need to be grateful and thankful that y'all got parents who care. I don't care if your parents have been deceased, have passed on. If you had a beautiful and healthy relationship with those parents, cherish that shit. Let them live on in you, through you, as you. Because the best thing a child could get from their parents is a healthy relationship. Because I'm telling you, that shit is painful. When you got parents in this world, but you feel orphaned, my nigga. I have never truly felt loved. I'm gonna be real. I don't know what that shit feel like. Yet, I have managed to foster what I've not received wholeheartedly. And it's not because of my own accord. According to statistics, I'm not supposed to be here. I used to be afraid because I never thought I would graduate high school. Because let me tell y'all something. By the time my ass moved from Cali back here to Louisiana, I was high school age. And I had started my high school year here. And by that time, I was wearing razor blades up underneath my tongue because I was like, I want a nigga to think they could fuck with me. Because I'm tired of bitches and shit. You know, I got tired of the bullying. I got tired of, you know, I was a hood nerd. I was a hood nerd. Anybody don't know what a hood nerd? Right now I'm coining the phrase hood nerd. So if you see that on a shirt or anything, I don't give a fuck who copyrights it, who trademarks it, bitch. That shit, you heard that shit here first. I grew up a hood nerd. From the hood, talk, you know, you walk, you gotta, you shape shift. You learn how to shape shift to survive. When you get home, you let the nerd out. You know, I had to be a tomboy. That's how I survived. Them streets would have ate my ass alive. We had gangs on every fucking corner. I had to, my nigga. Like I had to. I had to be with bitches and niggas that was affiliated with Bloods and Crips. For me to be able to walk in certain territories, I had to. I could not live being me. I had to. I could not. So You know, fast forward to here. By the time I got here in high school, I was real rough. I That Cali shit was on me heavy. I was putting slit through my eyebrows before any female was thinking about doing that shit. I had about 2-3 slits in that bitch. I was not playing. I came here like a nigga. That was my defense mechanism because I didn't know what I was coming into. I didn't know if Louisiana was gonna be another Cali. I didn't know. All I knew was Cali. All I knew was them streets was fucking hard. You know, kids my age was getting stabbed up and shot up even back then. And it was, it was what it was. And I'm coming from the era where there was a girl named Daphne from this little area in Vallejo, California called the Crest, not too far from a place that was called Marine World. This girl used to date a rapper, and she ended up having a baby by this rapper. But this rapper was messing with some other chicks or some shit like that. And the girls was jealous of her because I guess she was the main chick. They ended up waiting until she had that baby. They ended up killing her, setting her and the house on fire, taking the baby, stealing the child. And years later, I guess the little boy maybe was 6 or 7, or I don't know, they found out that the little boy was stolen and was raised literally down the street from where his mama was taken out of here. The weirdest, some crazy shit. Now, I used to hang out in the Crest. And anybody know about the Crest back then? I don't know now, but the Crest back then was mostly Crip territory. It might be blooded out. I don't know. I don't know. But all I know is back then, and I was young. I was one of the youngest out of the girls that I was hanging with. I was always being snuck into somebody fucking parties and shit. And I remember in the Crest, we was in them shotgun houses where it was one way in and one way out. So if some shit was gonna pop off, bitch, you better be at that exit quick. So I was a little young tenderoni. I was 12, 13, and listen, you couldn't tell that I was 12 and 13 years old, boo, because I was well developed. I had titties at 9. So and remember, I had to grow up a little, I had to mature a little fast in order to survive. So I was 12, 13, but I was not talking like no 12, 13. Mind you, I was still a virgin, but I was not talking like, I was talking older than what I was because I had to. I couldn't talk my age. I would not have made it. I could have been somebody's bitch. I could have been a prostitute. I could have been on somebody's drugs. Let me set the record straight. I ain't never been strung out on nobody's drugs. You understand? Never. Probably in past lives, but not in this life. I don't know what the fuck it feel like to snort, shoot up, none of that shit. Understand me now. And I'm going to just tell you something. For all of you, and I've said it before, and I'm going to say this again. I've said this individually to some of my clients who have been recently getting readings from me. Some of you, you know who you are. One in particular, recently, I had a conversation, and I had to kind of tell my client to kind of give this person some ease that when a mother has girls or a daughter, when that daughter or those daughters get a specific age, there's an age threshold that happens. The threshold is they start to see the potential of that child. They see the young version of themselves in that daughter or those daughters, those girls. And they see everything that they could have salvaged if they would have been a little bit wiser at that age. So watch this. When women have daughters, there is a time where God presents them a fork in the road. Because those girls, they get a certain age and then you start to see their potential. So God says either you can choose this way or this way concerning your kids, your girls. This way is jealousy. This way is helping them prepare. I'm going to just say it like this. I didn't have nobody to prepare me. Everything I've learned, everything I know, everything I've acquired, it has been through experience, pain, some passion, some defeat, some failures, disappointments, different things like that. And I'm going to tell y'all this. Saturn is going to stay in retrograde until October. So you got a lot of karmic release, karmic judgment, karmic this, karmic that, karma, chameleon. It comes and goes, it comes and goes. Like, we're going to have a lot of this shit going on. Revelatory knowledge, because Saturn brings lessons and teachings and things like that. And I'm gonna be real with you. I'm so jaded when it comes to relationships with family. I'm jaded when it comes to friendships. I'm jaded when it comes to love relationships. I'm not. I want y'all to take this time out and allow yourself to go back in time. I've been seeing 119 a lot, and I've been seeing 911 a lot. And that's what's on the clock. Because I just seen 119:11. So that's 119 and then 9:11. I've been seeing this for a minute now, for a few days now. Even in my workplace, it's, you know, how you come in, and my goal is to do my job and be nice. Not to be stupid. Be kind, don't be blind. Be graceful, not dumb. That kind of thing, that balance, you know. And sometimes, now that you kind of older and wiser and you've been through the shit, you see people will look at you to say, oh, she gullible, she country. But now that you've been through some trauma and some pain and that shit done woke you up, you can see they already plotting. So you kind of like, okay. So then, you know, you wake up to say, am I going to be petty, or am I going to be, you know, am I going to take the high road? And me personally, I've been on my high road shit, because I really am. My goal is to just really live an unbothered life, you know, as best as I possibly can. I'm really not out here trying to get on nobody's nerves. I really am trying to stay out of everybody's way, because we used to joke, because my brother never used to come out of his room. He was always on a video game, even as an adult. And so when Soul Food came out and they had the character Uncle Pete, he only came out when it, you know, when they had that fire. He had that TV with all that money stashed in. We would call my brother Uncle Pete, because we would only see him at night. He'd be like a roach. He'd only come out at night to eat. You see him, you see the door closing when he go take a shower, that kind of thing, you know. So we got used to call him Uncle Pete, Uncle Pete, Uncle Pete. But I realized that growing up in the household that I grew up in, with this, and I hate to say this, but this bitter mom, single mom, who got to now figure this shit out and carry everything by herself. At this point, my brother, his means of survival mode was stay quiet, don't be seen, stay out of sight, out of mind. As long as you're not seen, you're not a problem. And I'm realizing that that's the mode that I'm in now. I walk around this motherfucker like I'm walking on eggshells. And I'm not, God knows, I'm not lying. God can testify. I'm not lying. When I say daily, I try to keep the peace. I can get a text message out of nowhere from my mother, and it's a nasty fucking text message. Why you did such and such and such? You know they got that, like, or she would call me and start yelling about some shit and then hang up. Or it would be, I had somebody in my car and I put her on speakerphone so they knew I wasn't lying. And I said, now do you see what the fuck I'm dealing with? And my children are walking in the house, not speaking to me. Good morning, Mom. Nothing. Because she's trained them with a manipulative spirit to do as I say. I'm your grandmother. So now my kids, my girls, I only got my son. Y'all, I could say the devil is busy. I could say the devil is at work. But the more I evaluate things, sometimes, man, sometimes people like being in low vibrational places. And they like some people can't survive. Some people feel like they can't survive vibrating no higher than where they at. Because some people, I'm telling you, listen to me. It's going to sound real crazy. But listen to me. Some people like this low shit because it keeps them non-accountable. This keeps you blind to the shit you got to be accountable for. Why face my demons when I can make friends with them? Bitch, let's have tea and a biscuit, my nigga. They breaking bread with them bitches. They not trying to kick them out. They done made a whole guest house for them hoes. Oh, you're here. You're here. Okay, let's get comfortable. We're gonna play a toxic ass game of spades. You ready? They here. Anything higher than this, bitch, it's gonna open up. It's gonna open up their eyes, nigga. It's time to heal. So they'll And you know what? Somebody going, y'all not gonna like this, but you know what helps keep people like that age group there? Religion. Yeah, I said it. Not a spiritual relationship with God, not spirituality. And I'm not talking about this mechanical spirituality. I'm not talking about social media spirituality. I'm not talking about generic spirituality. I'm talking about the type of spirituality that causes you to evolve. That shit is not for the weak. All these people that's talking about unicorns and love and light and rainbows and got glitter every 5 seconds doing it. That shit is fake. That shit is fake. Fake, bitch. It's fake. That shit is fake. Real spirituality is not for the weak. You are consistently shedding shit. You will stay praying to that porcelain god in the spirit. Ugh. That shit got to come up and out. You want to know real warfare and deliverance? Grow. Evolve. Break out just a little bit. I'm going to show you what real spirituality is. I know, listen, I don't give a fuck how long it's going to take for me to get this message out. Y'all going to hear everything that I'm saying. Do you hear me? I need for y'all, go back down memory lane. Go and dig in your childhood. It's going to piss you off. It's going to hurt you. It may break you down all over again. But by God, risk it all, man. All my chips is on this motherfucking table. Because I ain't got nobody else to bet on but me. And I'm praying to God that I double up. I can't afford to walk away broke this time. I can't. If I can't walk away broke this time, man, I won't make it. I will not fucking make it. So I gotta put all my chips on the table. Because I ain't got nobody else but me. And I'm doing this shit for my son and even my kids that ain't speaking to me. On behalf of my own mother, I got to. I got to. And even for my negative ass family members, I'm breaking shit for them. They toxic ass, you bitches. Even y'all is gonna be able to, if y'all choose to heal. You know, and it's sad because, you know, either way they gonna benefit. It's like people benefit off of kicking you down, you know, getting you down. They benefit. And when they heal, they get to, you know, it's like, okay, well, that's what happens when you are the one who is selected to. Let me tell y'all something. You know, everybody talks about being a generational curse breaker. And that ain't what you doing, though. Yeah, the curses is being broken, but that's not. In order for you to break curses, healing must take place. You are healing. Therefore, you are a healer. Order of the Mystic Healers is about healing. As you heal, things break off. Curses, shackles, strongholds, whatever else. Fetters of iron and chains of bondage and all that other low vibrational shit. And even though that's not for the weak, unfortunately, a lot of us ain't got no help in the family because they too busy being jealous and looking at your every move. When do you have time to even work to pay your bills, bitch? You too busy staring into my life. Do you just work to get readings and do spell work on me? You can't pay your fucking bills? How are you living? Because apparently you're obsessed with me. And you need to be obsessed with you and what your husband's doing. And not me. That's really what I want to tell a lot of them. Y'all niggas need to be obsessed with brushing y'all motherfucking teeth with all that tartar and plaque on your mouth. Bitch, go get that tongue scratched, ho, while you looking at me. Matter of fact, go handle them corns and bunions, bitch, because you're looking at me too much. You're letting your hygiene go. Bitches ain't taking baths and ain't scrubbing their bodies. Y'all too busy trying to peer into my life. I had aunts and uncles watch me burn and wouldn't spit on me knowing my ass was on fire. First thing my mama said when I came back, you ain't had to be homeless. You could have came back here. No, nigga, I had to be homeless because I didn't want to come back here. And I'm glad I was, because I got to really see firsthand how these people on the streets was getting treated. And how these people would be used by satanic covens for sacrifices because they think a lot of these people aren't traceable. Because they ain't got family who care about them. Yeah, them Hollywood Hills, they got eyes. These motherfuckers gonna pay for all the shit they've done to these innocent people. Because the blood of the innocent is crying out from the ground. And they ain't gonna never cease until it's paid off with the blood of the unrighteous. And that's facts. And that shit is final. Not all of a sudden California wanna care about the epidemic and but go sit your ass down. You should have been did that. All y'all rotten ass politicians gonna have to pay. Cause you could have been cleaning up them fucking streets. You wait till now? Oh, cause it's happening to your strung out ass heroin addict daughter or son. Bitch, go sit your ass down. Until it hit your home, then it's a problem. Like them motherfuckers warned about that crack epidemic when it was hitting them black streets until it went into their suburban homes. Go sit your ass down somewhere. You still got to pay for that. Ain't nobody overlooking that shit. I was there. Being gang stalked and followed and shit. I know how that shit feel. Y'all, some of y'all who had went through that shit, y'all not fucking crazy. People will tell you crazy. You ain't crazy. That shit is real. I went through it. I don't have to go through that shit no more though. I was denied twice a restraining order from my ex-husband who really did try to kill me, who was going to off me or have me executed because he a punk ass bitch. He wasn't going to do it himself, so he was going to hire somebody to do it. And the moment that he did get the boss to do it, he went up the stairs and I seen the Spirit of God turn his ass around like a toy soldier and walk his ass back down the steps. That motherfucker was going up them stairs to get a gun to turn it on me. I watched God turn him around. I watched God turn him around. That was the day I knew I had to go. He was yelling and screaming at me. I was calm. Y'all, I'm not lying to y'all on my daughter's grave. I was calm like a fucking lamb. Way calmer than this. I swear to you, I'm not lying. I was calm. And I'm telling you, because I know how he gets. Quick to anger. And somebody got to be level-headed. He got loud and da-da-da and this and that, the other. And I mean loud. My kids is home. So he already knows that if nothing else gets me agitated, it's the fact that you like arguing in front of kids. I don't like that. I think that is so toxic. And that's one thing I will say about my mother and my father. They didn't argue in front of me. So I was not born in that dynamic. Unfortunately, he was born in that dynamic because he used to watch his parents fist fight. So that's why he felt that it was comfortable to put his nasty, funky, bisexual hands on me. Yeah, I said it. Well, I gotta say allegedly. Allegedly. Because I'm hearing I don't like that. I don't like that. Oh, yeah, and I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna speak my truth. You want to know one of the reasons why, one of the comments, okay. So, yes, I was on this new season of Don't Forget the Lyrics. I was almost 260 pounds. Praise God, I am no longer that size because I'm a shorty and my body cannot afford to hold that weight anymore. So, therefore, I'm in the ones. Thank you, God. So, and I'm eating right. I'm eating good. Taking care of myself, that kind of thing. So, anyway. Let me tell you a little background. See, I'm not saying this to get a reward or an award. I have to tell my truth. There was a witch coven that was also coming for me before I left. That, and I gotta say this because my guys is telling me to say allegedly. Allegedly, my ex-husband was working with this witch coven to off me. And I did not know at the time, had sent in an agent who was the girl I went on the show with. Mind you, every time this girl had an issue, I was there for her. She would be broke, I would hand her $1,000. I'm not being funny, this is for real. I thought this woman was my sister. I held her. I gave her everything that I wanted in a friend. I didn't do it because I wanted it back, or I never looked for it back in anybody. Just how my heart is, the way that I'm set up. I'm a very loyal person until you fucking cross me. Once you cross me, you lost me. So she didn't have any money to get herself to LA. I paid for that trip. I paid for that trip. And little did I know, now I'm finding out that allegedly she had slept with my fucking husband. Allegedly. So why in the fuck would I want to talk about being on a show with somebody who allegedly was cutting my fucking throat and I didn't even know it? I'm telling y'all, people will smile in your face and befriend you to try to be you. Do you hear me? By the time, y'all, let me tell y'all something. That's why I don't need to talk about that episode. That's why I don't need to talk about that episode. Allegedly. It's all alleged. I ain't no dummy. I'm gonna say allegedly my ex-husband is bisexual, whatever, all this other shit, allegedly. I ain't about to be done on this channel. I know what time it is. You read between the lines, allegedly. You know how when people say, oh, when I get my money, I'm going to bless you. I never looked for that blessing. You know why? Because I met too many of her before. They the kind that when they get up, they don't do shit. See, money is a tool. See, that's what I don't understand why people hate money. You hate the fact that you feel like you're not worthy of it. So therefore, you become a hater of those who have it. When really, in reality, money is a tool. Money is a tool that reveals the heart of a person. If you're a fucked up individual, it's only going to amplify that. If you are a giver, it's only going to amplify that. If you are a humanitarian and a philanthropist, it's only going to amplify that. You don't have to have money to be a philanthropist or a humanitarian. There's many ways that you can give. You can give your time, you can give deeds, you can give this. You can volunteer to feed the homeless at a place where they cook and feed, shelters and all this other shit. You don't have to give money. Sometimes money is not the thing that you need to give to a homeless person, because they actually may be strung out. They may go and get heroin or get something. Hey, listen. Shut the fuck up. I'm only telling you reality. I know not everybody that's homeless is strung out on drugs, but I was one. I was one of them that always, every day, showered and made sure I was clean. So they have those ones that keep up with themselves and shit. I don't want to hear no shit. Then you do have those ones who hit rock bottom because they've been doing this for years. And you got these kind that's fucking rich. Let's not play. Sharonda, I'm not worried. You don't worry about that. You didn't trigger anything. I was actually hoping and praying nobody knew that it was me. I thought I had lost enough weight and I looked a little different to be on the show. Y'all see how my body was built? That's, listen, I don't know. Y'all go back and look. Y'all go back and look at that episode. And you watch that episode real closely. And you watch my face. First of all, I was genuinely rooting for her. I wouldn't have helped her get to the show if I wasn't. I also couldn't understand why she didn't choose her other friend who, in my humble opinion, I thought she was closer to than me. But then I realized she chose me to suck my fucking energy so she could win the amount of money that she won. Mind you, she called me up on a song that she knew I didn't know because she knew I could sing better than her. Let me tell y'all something. That bitch sings flat and sharp at the same time. Now, that ain't alleged. And I want you to come after me for that whole, because listen, in a court of law, you're going to have to prove that you ain't a flat or a sharp singer. How many times they asked you to keep singing that shit? I didn't realize I was around a bunch of hoes that was studying me when I would gig. Y'all remember when I told y'all I was around somebody who lived in Phoenix for 20 plus years and was not gigging, didn't know how to gig until she met me? That's the one that I went on the show with. I was putting people on left and fucking right. Do you think they give a fuck about me when they got where they was? No. Did I put them on to get anything out of them? No. I just wanted them to get to where I thought I was going. That's the truth. I wouldn't have minded if somebody would have pulled me, because that was what I was going to do. Had I would have made it while I was there, I would have pulled a bunch of motherfuckers. But God knows none of them deserved it, because they was all fucking demons. All of them. I said what the fuck I said. Not one of them could I trust. And it wasn't until I got stabbed in the back plenty of times by everybody that I seen it. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Girl, she knew I could sing because, baby, I put her on. I'm trying to tell you, I put her on. Listen, she would have got more money had she would have picked the rock section and country. She didn't pick the rock section or the country section because she knew I would have known those fucking songs and I would have had to sing it. So she would have rather had got the $40,000 and quit than for me to sing on national TV and outshine her. Look, I'm not dumb. I'm not dumb. So you called me up on an Ed Sheeran song that you knew I didn't know. I didn't know that shit. You could hear me saying underneath I don't know this song. I said I didn't know the song. The part that you didn't see on the show is when I leaned over and told her, take the money and run. Because I knew I didn't know the fucking song. She didn't bring me there to be no lifeline, y'all. She brought me there to mooch off my energy. And it wasn't until recently that I found this shit out. And then again, like I said, allegedly, this bitch had slept with my ex-husband, who wasn't my ex at the time. Mind you, allegedly. So don't tell me shit about friendships and family. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Motherfucker woke up Snow White and now they got Maleficent. I'm turning these hot ass summer nights into a fucking cold Arctic blast in this bitch. I'ma get cold real quick on niggas. You go back and watch that episode. All you see is pain on me. All that weight that I was holding was a means of me protecting myself. If I'm fat enough, maybe I'm ugly enough to keep niggas off of me. Well, no, that would protect me to keep people off of me. Nah, bitch. No, they see you got low self-esteem, so they come even the more. Because all they want to do is rape your fucking energy. That fatness ain't gonna keep niggas off of you. They want you broke down and fucked up in the mind. They want you unhealed and desperate for what you think is love. They want you there. They don't give a fuck what size it is. Because as long as they can benefit off your energy, baby, they don't care if you're a 2 or a 20. If they're going to molest your energy, they're going to molest your energy, honey. And that's that. And that's that on that. And I know, listen, I'm trying to tell y'all, you can see the sadness in my eyes on the show. I walked in on my mama watching the show. I didn't even want, I was praying that they never aired the shit, to be honest. Because after all that, listen, that was filmed over a year ago. That was filmed over a year ago. They just now airing it. It was filmed over a year ago. This was before I ran. This was before I had to run for my life. That bitch used me. Allegedly. And I thought she was really, out of everybody that I was hanging with in Phoenix, 2 females I thought were really my true friends. One is singing on Letter to My Unborn Child. Yes, the Tupac song. Me and her, I thought we was like sisters. And she was a part of that witch coven that tried to take my ass the fuck up on out of here. Allegedly. I would get this bitch gigs, or I would say certain things, or I would call her to fill in for me on this gig. I would be double booked or doing something. And I noticed that if she was double booked or she was sick or her voice wasn't, she would call somebody else. She wouldn't call me. She'd call other people. And I kept noticing the people that I would ask to fill in for me would never call me to fill in for them. And you know, I was like, it's cool, it's all right, I get it, whatever. But I didn't realize that. But see, when you speak your truth, you become the hater. Go back and look at that. I'm telling you, go back and look at that. You know, tell y'all something right now. Telling y'all something right now. Don't play me. Don't play me. You can see pain in my eyes. And let me tell y'all something. The song Tennessee Whiskey came out. She never sang that song, never heard that song in her life. The way she's singing Tennessee Whiskey on that song, on that episode, she's mimicking me. I swear to you, note for note. Now that's not alleged, bitch. That's for real. Now, unless she didn't change the way she sang it, I don't want to hear shit. Now I stand on that 10 toes down and 20 feet motherfucking tall. She had never heard that song until I sung it. So the way she regurgitated it on the show is the way that I actually sing it in real life. So don't tell me about how people don't keep you close to be you and mirror you and mimic you. It's fucking disgusting. And why I don't trust bitches now, that's because of it. I prayed for sisterhood before I moved there, and I got a bunch of fucking demons, bro. It's so hard for me to trust at this point. Anybody. It's hard for me to trust. I'm telling you, you go look at that and see. I was in pain. I was suffering in silence. And from my spirit and from my heart, God knows, I'm telling you, let God judge me. I really thought I was doing a good deed, helping somebody. I wanted to see her win. I was never against her winning. I funded the fucking trip to get there. What motherfucker you know gonna hate on you and fund your trip to see you win some shit? I ain't never asked for her to. We're gonna go home to New Orleans and to Sis's city. We're gonna visit New Orleans, and I'm sitting there like this. And I'm saying to myself, we ain't doing that. I knew the disconnect was coming. I just didn't know how it was going to come. I knew. Because right after that show, she started hanging tough with the other bitch that wanted my spot, my neck. And I didn't even know it. She started hanging real tough with her. And then all of a sudden, I'm out of sight and I'm out of mind. The only time this bitch is calling me on the phone is to gossip about the people she hanging with. Mind you, that ain't alleged either. Come for me, ho. I promise you. I ain't got no reason to lie. I ain't scared of nobody. Everybody that was after me, that she was hanging with, she would call me and tell me their business. Now, I'm not hanging with these hoes because they don't want, for whatever reason, they ain't hanging with me. I want friends. A bitch was desperate for friends. Anybody that I can use as an excuse to get out my husband face, bitch, especially we friends for real, bitch. Come on, let's go hang out mimosa time. She was the only person I was hanging with. Besides her and the other chick. The letter to my unborn child chick. I'm not going to say her name. Because none of these hoes is worthy for me to say their names. In my humble opinion. Y'all came for me. Y'all wished for my downfall. And y'all wanted to see me dead. The fuck I look like speaking your name. Fuck you with a sick dick, bitch. All y'all niggas can kiss my ass crack. And that's not reversible. I don't give a fuck. That's why I'm in savage mode. Sharonda, let me tell you. Y'all, I have no reason to lie. When I tell y'all, I used to hear little snickerings and shit about her. In the music scenery that we was in, that we shared, people always talked bad about her. Whether it was about her weight or how off she sounded, I always knew she was tone deaf. She's deaf in one ear. But I always knew she was tone deaf. Sis can play the keys, but I never could still understand that even with one deafness in one ear, you still could be able to train yourself to have perfect pitch if you had music theory to play piano. So in my mind, I was always supportive because I understand what it felt like to be thrown away. And I wasn't in the business of throwing people away. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't in the business of throwing people away. So I supported her. It wasn't nothing for me to put her on because I felt like, hey, maybe she's worth it. And her pen game, the bitch can write. She can write beautiful music. She's a honest composer. I compose my own shit. I write my own music. But one thing I noticed about her, she never wanted help because she always wanted the glory and the credit. So what ends up happening is if I wrote this song by myself and I composed it by myself and it blows up, then I can get all the glory. I'm gonna have to give it to nobody else or share it. But the truth is, most beautiful songs, most songs that blow up is accredited with more than one person as a writer. Sometimes it takes a bunch of people to write a hit. And listen, the Virgo in me, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I used to be like that. I used to want to be the only person to write and sing my shit and all this other stuff. But honestly, to me, it was out of fear that my shit was gonna get stolen. It was never out of, I just feel like I couldn't trust nobody because if I wasn't passionate about nothing else, I was always passionate about songwriting and singing and composing because I just didn't want nobody to steal my shit. I know what it felt like to be raped and robbed when it came to music. It's easy for somebody to do that. So I just would notice that about her. And people like to throw their weight out there and this and that, the other, and Like, why y'all gotta do that big ass cannon right now? So look, she had wrote a song for CC Peniston, and I don't, I'm not gonna say it. I don't know if it placed or not, but she used to always complain to me about the producer that CC Peniston. Mind you, I met CC Peniston through the Letter to My Unborn Child chick via FaceTime. Don't ask me. So she was like, sang for her a little bit. So I sang for her a little bit while I was at her mentor's house cooking some food. Y'all, I've been set up so many times. I got so many stories of being set up. Back then, looking back, I didn't know what was going on. Now, looking back, I was set up so many fucking times. People were really out to try to replace me or be me. Listen, I'm trying to tell y'all, when you don't know who you are and people know who you are before you, it's a dangerous thing. I ain't trying to scare nobody. You better stay in the house. You better become a hermit and ask God to reveal to you who the fuck you are, so you can guard what, you know, your man. People were trying. I'm telling you, people were after me. I was depressed during that episode. And my daughter kept trying to warn me. It was so many hummingbirds we seen while we were there. There was a California fire that took place close to us. We were seeing the ashes from the forest fall while we was in the pool. It was so many signs trying to tell me shit. She had asked her own father to go on a show with her, and her daddy was like, nah, I ain't trying to get my life up. I ain't trying to sell my life up. I ain't trying to sign my life away and all this other shit. And he kept talking. I kept saying to myself, well, it is just a game show. You don't know how far people will go for fame. You understand? I always knew that my birthday, and I'm going to just tell you this, I always knew my birthday was extremely important because I'm born on a high Jewish holiday. It's a, when I say Jewish, I'm talking about a Judah holiday. A holiday for Judah, for Israel. But I did not know because of my birthday that I was in danger while I was in Arizona. I didn't know that. I thought I was safe because I thought I was around a community of people that were genuine and honest. Let me also tell you what ended up happening after I ran out of that marriage. Remember, I went before the courts once to get a restraining order. They denied me. Which I truly believe, and I gotta say allegedly because I'm hearing my guides again. I truly do believe allegedly that he went to his mother, and his mother went to a Sangoma. They got some kind of work done, and he was also working with this coven allegedly. And also his attorney looked like a fucking demonic ass witch. So I was pretty sure that at that time he had a spiritual alignment or you know, a demonic alignment. I also want to say this. What makes me upset the most about all of this is that I recently found out my husband knew who I was spiritually and never told me. Y'all, It's like living in the fucking Truman Show. You know how like everybody knew he was on a show except him? Everybody knew and they were watching except him. He thought that that was life. But he didn't know that everything around him was scripted. And he was the only one that didn't have a script. So it was like a reality show that was, everybody else was scripted except him. So he literally was being used as a reactor actor. That's how that shit felt. I didn't know how deep this whole Israel stuff went when it came to black people, and I had knew some years ago that my ex-husband's father had ties to the Limba tribe, which was of the Levitical priests. I had knew that, but I did not know who I was or where I fit in. And so I remember when I caught the plane, hold on to what I'm getting ready to say because it's going to help somebody too. When I caught the plane to go and get married, I never will forget, I heard Spirit say to me, I'm sending you a redeemer. Now, this is going to confuse some people. Sometimes God will allow you to go forward with things so you can redeem others as they redeem you. In other words, I'm going to send you somebody to love you so you know that I'm real, or to help you heal so it can be a reciprocity. I believe I was sent. I always thought I married wrong. And somebody told me, and I felt like this was God answering a question that I had in my heart. No, you didn't marry wrong. He made a decision to follow this path instead of this path. And now he got to pay for it. Sometimes people don't want, oh, Holy Ghost, help me. Sometimes people don't want to live out the assignment that God has on their life because they're angry with God. And they think not living that assignment out is going to make God suffer in some kind of way. And so they sell themselves out to other energies outside of God. You understand where I'm trying to come from? I had all that weight on me on Don't Forget the Lyrics. I was heavy like that because food was my friend. And I lied. Nope. Let me go back. Because that ain't necessarily true. There was times where I was barely eating and I was still gaining weight. That was stress. That was stress weight. That was PTSD weight. That was traumatic, current traumatic weight. That was survival mode weight. That was a lot of shit. I'm not gonna do that to myself. Because I was cooking way more than what I was eating. I made sure my house stayed full with food. I was cooking 3, 4, sometimes 5-course meals. And trust me, leftovers did not last long in my house. Maybe 4 days. But I always stayed with my house full. And mind you, I didn't have food stamps. Did you think he helped me to pay for fucking groceries? When I would leave out that bitch with a $300-400 bill for groceries, I had to pay that shit out of my pocket. I went 4-5 years without food stamps. I didn't have no help. When my kids needed clothes, he didn't help me buy no fucking clothes. When Baby Mystic needed shoes, he didn't help me pay for that shit. I did all that by myself. So I know what it feels like to be married and still single. Oh, that went over somebody's head. That went over somebody's head. I know what the fuck it feel like to be a single parent and married on paper. I did not have a husband. I had a fucking roommate, and he barely did that correctly. I should have let his ass go after I buried my child. After he got mad at me for grieving when I had a breakdown while I was cooking food less than a month after she passed, he got pissed that I started crying. And then one of the people at the church that we was going to at the time had to get in his face and tell him, you don't tell her how to grieve. You'll never know how it feels to be a mother and have to bury their child. You was just the daddy. This woman had to carry that child in the womb. That man had to almost put his ass on the wall to tell him, back the fuck up off her. I thank God for that man doing that. Do you hear me? So don't tell me, listen, I'm telling y'all right now, hey, God bless you women who know what it means to be married to a real man, because I sure the fuck don't. And you know what? I don't have respect. I just don't. And you know what? It grinds my fucking gears and it gets on my nerves when I hear men make these TikTok videos and memes about how bitter black bitches and all this other shit and all this other. Y'all niggas need to start taking accountability for the shit that y'all keep perpetuating. It is not my fault that your mama raised a broken ass nigga and you chose not to heal when you got older. It is not my fault, bitch. So by the time we're older and you bring that toxicity over here and I don't want to deal with it, my nigga, it's not my fault. I'm over here healing, doing my own fucking healing, bitch. Why you can't heal? And nigga, if we gonna be together, why can't we heal together? That's the case. I don't mind that. But then you bring your broken ass shit to me and then you blame me for what your mama did to you. You know how many times I used to hear my ex-husband rattle on about how his mama put him in the position of his father and all this other shit, and how his daddy made babies on his mom and all this other shit, and how he used to beg and cry for his mama to leave us. Let me tell you something. I'm telling y'all, when that man was going upstairs to get that gun, when I asked for that divorce and God had to turn his ass back down, that was not what made me solidified the fact that I wanted to leave. Unfortunately, that's not what it was. It was the fact that my 4-year-old son stood there while my ex-husband was yelling at me at the top of his lungs and was coming around the kitchen island like he was getting ready to put hands on me while I just sat still in my chair. I sat still in my chair because it doesn't make sense for both of us to pop off when my kids are there. So one gonna have to act a fool and the other one just gonna have to keep the peace. And I chose to keep the peace. He walked around that kitchen island like he was gonna put his hands on me. And my son, my 4-year-old son, say, stop it, stop yelling. That was it for me. My 4-year-old son. And let me tell you this. That same girl that was on Don't Forget the Lyrics, I ended up getting an Airbnb for me and my kids. We moved in there for a little bit because I could not afford. Y'all remember when I first ran and I started going live, and I went live on Instagram, and I think I still got those up on Instagram. I was in the me and my kids was in the Airbnb at that time. When I first started going through that traumatic fucking experience. And I will never forget, she had helped me bring some bags up the stairs. And my son said to her, thank you for giving us a new home. First of all, she didn't do shit. Second of all, that was my 4-year-old said that to her. When a 4-year-old understands that a parent is toxic, something's fucking wrong. It was time to go. It was time to go. And I knew the curse was on him because every time he bought something, the shit would start breaking down. But he always made it seem like I was the problem. Y'all, I'm trying to tell, God knows I'm not lying. I'm about to say some shit. God, I don't know if I don't know if I'm about to reveal too much, but oh well, here it go. I had gained so many personalities that I had to shed because I had changed myself so many times to please him. I'm gonna let that sink in for some of y'all. He complained about one version of me, so I switched to another version of me. After a while, that wasn't good enough. I switched to another version. After a while, that wasn't good enough. Kept switching, kept switching, kept switching. This man knew that affection was one of the ways that I get filled up. Affection, physical touch. I never really cared for that love language shit because to me that was like you're putting, let me say it like this. I think bless the person who God used for the 5 love languages to come out. I think that is beautiful, valuable information. But I felt like my ex-husband read that book to get artillery to be able to hurt me. And I'm gonna explain to you why. See, he's not a regular narc. My ex-husband is a covert narcissist. The most dangerous kind. Yeah, the ones that hide. I feel like the way let me say it like this. I think the 5 love languages book is beautiful, but I think the way people use it can sometimes be disgusting, and I'll tell you why. They make it seem as if like you gotta pick something. But what if you like all the languages? I can't necessarily say I like this love language over the other. I can fall into any of those categories at any given time. I may want affection today. Tomorrow, I may want an act of service. Fuck, you randomly walking up to me and just rubbing my feet out of nowhere may be something that is beautiful. I may come home from getting a manicure and next thing you know, I see you cooking. Oh, wow, babe, that's beautiful. That's beautiful to me. The fuck I gotta ask you to do that shit for? If it ain't in you, then, man, listen. What ain't bread can't get fed. If it ain't bread in you, I can't feed it. Like it's just not there. He was never that kind of person to just take the initiative. I had to do all the fucking work. So when you see me on Don't Forget the Lyrics, it was because I took on so many facets of a manly South Node woman. My body was so fucking boxy and a little bit more harder and man-like because this nigga had me in my South Node. I was in slave mode with him. I was more you go back and look. My shoulders was more like this. I was more square because I was in fucking survival mode. I only got this little roll because I'm sitting down, but baby, a motherfucker is fine. You hear me? Let me tell you something. I didn't realize he was turning me into a man. He used to say certain things like me taking care of him, or like I'm gonna quit my job so you could take care of me. He said that more than once. Trust me, I'm not making shit up. He has said things like that. I'm not lying. I don't have no reason to lie. I even think this motherfucker may have gotten a PPP loan in my name and I don't know it. But that's allegedly. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm suing and I'm pressing charges if anything come out with my name on it and I ain't signed. Yeah, motherfucker, you going to jail and hell, bitch. You know, and God forgive me, I know some of y'all are watching, but blame your brother. This is the reason why I don't trust Africans no more. I'm going to just be honest. Well, we all not the same. Okay, tell that to him. You want somebody to blame? Blame him. You want somebody to be mad at? Blame him. I was with y'all until, yeah. He used to talk so bad about Nigerians and how they were scammers and all this. Nigga, you are, listen. Paradise J, I had no choice but to let my higher self take over in the heat of the moment. My middle child is sitting, listen, my oldest child is upstairs asleep. My middle child is right there by the, she's sitting on the sofa, and the way that the house is built, if there's a certain part, if you sit on this part of the sofa that's closest to the front door, you can see directly to the kitchen sink. And so I'm sitting at the kitchen island, but the way that I have my chair scooted up, I can see her looking at us. And then my 4-year-old son is standing by the pantry, so he's in the kitchen. And listen, he knows I don't like arguing in front of my children. I think that shit is toxic and petty. It never, as toxic as fuck as my parents were to each other, they never did it in front of me. So I was not trying to start any bad habits in front of my kids. I had to tell him over the years, nigga, you used to that shit. I'm not used to that. The fuck? Like, he told me how he watched his mama take, when she was ironing clothes, his daddy hit her, and she took the iron on his stomach. He watched it. I don't have those memories. I can't tell you that my daddy, I used to have to ask my mom, did my daddy ever put his hands on you? She used to say, no, that's one thing, you know, Blue didn't do. He ain't put his hands on me. But she will always remind me, but he was no good nigga. He was a no good nigga. He was a no good nigga. He was a no good nigga. And then as soon as she get mad at me, you're just like your daddy. So you perpetuating in me that I'm a no good ass motherfucker. I'm a demon. I'm a this. Because you didn't told me all my life my daddy wasn't shit. So when you get mad at me and I don't do what you want me to do, then obviously, apparently I'm shit too. Because then you're going to say I'm just like my daddy. Only when you're mad though. Okay. I never told my girls they were just like their fathers. Never. Never. Why would I compare them to toxicity? Let me tell you something. My kids, oh my God, my oldest child spent years asking me to tell her the truth about her father. And I used to dodge that shit. Bro, I used to dodge them like Jehovah's Witness at the door. It wasn't until I felt like she got old enough and I had to tell her, like, okay. And when I told her the truth, I still looked at her and I said, I'm not telling you this to shape your perception of your father, for you to hate him, for you to this, for you to that. But this is why these certain things happen the way they happen. This is why such and such is like, yo, my kids can tell you I never talk bad about their dad. Never. They ain't got that testimony. I don't do that shit. I don't subscribe to it. For what? Why? Why do I need to put that person down to make me feel better? You know? Oh, in front of your son? See, let me tell you the loft. The second time he put his hands on me, the way he did it, this was after my daughter. So he put his hands on me twice after my daughter was born. He shoved me he pushed me into the wall, and he always, for whatever reason, liked going for the neck. He didn't hit. It was always choking. And that sensation, I'm sorry, y'all. Give me a second. I'm sorry, y'all. Forgive me. Y'all give me a minute. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not a perfect person. I ain't never, I've never claimed to be perfect. You know, we all can be toxic. We all can have a good and bad side. But God knows I took my vows seriously. I did not. I stopped my. I remember There were times where I would be invited to somewhere, and he could be at home, and I would go somewhere, and it would be, of course, about music, and I wouldn't even know he would pop up. And I've had several people tell me that you 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 act different when he shows up, when he's around. And it's because I always felt like when he entered a room that I had to hide. I felt like I couldn't be me. If I smiled too much, I was gonna have to pay for it some kind of way. If I laughed too hard, my personality came out a little bit too bright, I always felt like I was gonna have to pay for it some kind of way. So when he come around, I would try to act as bland as possible, if that's the word I can use. Stone face, get a little militant, in the postures, stand straight up, get a little bit more alert than usual. Somebody say something funny, kind of, don't smile too hard, don't smile too long, don't. I always felt like he would be watching me if he was in the room. The only time I could not control my personality was when I was singing. I couldn't help being on the stage, and if a part of me wanted to come out and shine, I couldn't help it. And I couldn't help. Y'all, I always wondered why he didn't have no friends. I would always ask him why he never had friends. And he never could give me a straight answer. Like, I always wondered why. I would ask him, like, why you ain't got no friends? Why you not socializing? And he would just shrug off the question. And I noticed that, he never came to any of my gigs. Mind you, any gig he's ever had, I can probably count on one hand, maybe two fingers, of gigs that I may have missed. And it was probably because I was having a gig at the same time he may have been having a gig. I've always supported him. He hardly ever came to any of my gigs. Out of the 4 years that I was there, probably 2. And I think one of them was probably because he was singing at one. Like, that was it. He was never supportive. He never came to any of my gigs. So it was only right that when we first moved there, that he got somebody pregnant, allegedly. And he had this bitch in my face. And it wasn't until I was leaving out that she seen me somewhere. She was like, how is such and such? And I kind of looked at her. And I said to myself, why the fuck she asking me about him? And then I said, it was a split-second decision. I said, either I could say, I don't know, fuck, ask him, I ain't with that nigga. Or I could fake it and be like, I ain't good. You know what I chose to say? I didn't do petty shit. I just said, oh, you good? And walked off. You ain't my friend. Why the fuck you asking me? That's because this bitch is his baby mama. Twice over. Allegedly. He has called me from this woman's house acting like, because she was a coordinator, acting like he was at her house, that they was coordinating some show. And now you found out this bitch is a karmic. Ain't nothing divine feminine about her. And mind you, she's African. Okay. I did not know that my husband had been cheating on me. I I did not know. Well, how you didn't know? I didn't. I didn't think that he would do that. He was so covert about everything that he did. I didn't know. When you got somebody every year allegedly trying to poison you and allegedly trying to take your ass out so they can take your... I didn't know. This man would start arguments with me before his performance and then make it seem like I was the one who was... I didn't realize what the fuck he was doing. Nigga was transferring energies. He would literally be transferring his fucked up negative energy to take my high vibrational shit. Yo, I did not realize any of this until now. I would watch when he would get off the stage and he, people would do one of those courtesy claps. And then, like, let's say we used to do, I used to go to open mics all the time back in Phoenix. And one of these open mics, I'm not going to say the name of it, but it used to happen on Tuesday nights at this Mexican restaurant. And I went, and there was a few times he would show up. But I would notice he wanted the crowd to go wild over him. And he would always use the excuse of black people not being forward thinking or progressive. And he wanted his, a white audience because white people got the fact that he sings African music. No, it was just that he had a shitty personality. He was not a friendly person. And so therefore, you don't have friends. People are not rooting for you. You seem bitter. So I would have people come up to me and say, your husband is ranting on Facebook. And I'm not on Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook for 13 years. So I'm saying to myself, what the fuck is he talking about? And one of the girls just broke it down. It was like, yeah, and this was a girl I used to hang with. She was like, he on Facebook talking about how people don't support him and this and that. Of course, he African, so he dropping an album like every 2 months. Or, EP every two, like he got to keep just pumping music out. Okay, whatever. Mind you, I can't even get an EP off because this motherfucker blocking me. Mind you, I tried to get all my songs off of his Mac before I ran. So I left. Besides my kids, who I kept with me, my most prized possessions was my body of work, because that was the only thing that allowed me to be expressive without judging me. I left all that shit on his Mac. I have no music. I have no way at this time to even go into a studio and create music. I can't even, y'all, that's why y'all have not heard music from me lately. I don't have any equipment to create it. I don't. I didn't write all my shit by myself because I wanted to. I wrote all my shit by myself because that's what I was channeling. I got a lot of shit, man, and I'm telling you, either he sold my shit or redid it and put it up as his own. And if I hear any of my stuff, motherfucker, I'm suing. Period. I don't give a fuck if he sold it to the artist or whatever. Yo, I'm telling you, listen, let me tell you how salty this motherfucker was. He approached me to do a song that was going to be placed on Black Panther 2's soundtrack. If you coming to me to do that, it's because number one, you don't think you can do it. Number two, he want me to blow it up so he could benefit off of it. Or he was going to make me do it and take my vocals off and put his vocals on and make it seem like he's the one who did it. He would probably did some shit like that. Never got to finish it. Never even got to do it because I had to run. Some things is a blessing in disguise. I ain't got no way to create no fucking music right now. I even asked my own cousin, like, yo, I need help. Like, you the only person that can help me right now because you have the equipment and you know me and you. Like, and this is like a cousin that I highly esteem. Yo, my nigga said to me, well, you know, God been talking to me lately and, you know, I can't take everybody, you know, as clients. Da-da-da. So you telling me no? Wow. Okay. But you tell me the other day, some random chick, you said, oh yeah, she can come and I thought you said God was having you be picky in this season. Wow. That was so painful to hear because I'm like, damn, you the only person out of all family members that I would trust, but not even you are like not willing to even help me get one song off. Wow. I'm really out here by myself. So that's why I said, y'all, don't tell me no shit about family and friends. I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to hear a motherfucking thing. I've been done so wrong. I'm telling you. I don't want to nothing. See, this is the thing, Paradise J. I don't that's not the way that I hear my music. I don't think y'all understand. I don't know if I can explain this to y'all. Like it's fucking torture. I wake up every day. I hear, y'all have no idea. Like I hear songs every day. Every day I'm hearing new shit in my head that I am frustrated that I can't get out. I hear songs all the time. Y'all, I hear lyrics, I hear instruments, I hear harmonies. I feel like God, are you punishing me? Wow. I ain't trying to sit here and just sing my shit off. And then somebody comes along and programs some keys and shit behind me and they get all the fucking credit. No. I ain't trying to do none of that shit. I will be so happy in this motherfucker. I ain't trying to do none of that. Because what they may do, I may not even have heard the instrumentation the way they... And that shit gonna bother me already. Like, I'm just being honest. One thing about me, I treat my songs like babies. I'm very hands-on with my shit. I don't, y'all, I'm very, I don't play about my, that's my life. That's, man, besides God and my kids, that's all I got left. I don't have, outside of that, I don't have anything else. And I was so hurt. And my cousin would If Tom was like, and mind you, this is the same cousin who warned me years ago that my ex-husband was jealous of me. I had a South African who my ex-husband had been knowing for years. Me and him was talking on the phone, and he said to me, he said, "You know what, Jess?" He says, "I don't know how you're gonna take this." And he told me straight up. This was right after I had lost my daughter. He said he wants it to be him, but it's not him, it's you. He said he can't handle fame or success. And he does not have what it takes to be a good steward over it. He was saying some other things as well. I did not want to believe my cousin. I didn't want to believe him, but they were both right. It wasn't until I started seeing the way that the crowd received me after I sang versus him, I noticed that he would keep count in his head. And I ignored it because I kept saying to myself, surely somebody who you married to wouldn't do that to you. But I was dumb, yeah. When I look back, I was dumb. And it wasn't because like I was just like it was really because I really, man, yo, when you got a good heart, or you feel like you got a good heart, you really can't see the demons. You think everybody is just beautiful in spirit and tulips and roses. Like you really, bro, I was dumb. I was gullible as fuck. Bro, I was gullible. Do you hear me? I was gullible as fuck back then. Why did you stay? Why did you stay? And that's one thing I would tell you. He always waited till them kids was in the room to put his hands on me. I think if one of my kids had seen him put his hands on me, they probably would have tried to box his ass up. And if he would have tried to put his hands on one of my kids, then we for sure would have been divorced way back then, because you ain't putting your hands on my kids. We would have had to been going at it. So he knew he was, listen, that covert narcissism, that's why I tell y'all it's dangerous, because they time shit. They know what to do and when to do it, because they don't want, real narcs don't give a fuck. He was a covert narc. I'm not about to give nobody no ammunition to say they saw me put my hands on her. I'm going to do it when nobody can see it, so it will always be my word against hers. That's the kind of nigga I was married to. He waited till them children was good and sleep. Or in the room somewhere. Then he would proceed to do what he, So the answer is, why did you stay? Well, I took my vows serious. I always prayed that there would be some change. I always felt like if I would take the initiative to change, that maybe he'd follow suit. If I was made to feel like I was the problem, that it was always my fault. Something was going wrong. I was always the one to. I did most of the apologizing. I was just made to feel like the fuck up of the marriage, and so with this, I use this as ammunition to change my fucked up ways. If I changed, I just knew my marriage was going to get better. Um, it got worse, but I held on because um, of course, kids. Not only that, but I thought that divorce would be a failure. I didn't want to be a divorcee. Because of religious reasons, I thought that it would be a failure, that I would be looked down upon, I would be shunned. Y'all have to understand that a divorced woman is more looked down upon and is looked at as baggage before a divorced man is. Um, and I thought this, Lord God, I pray that this helps somebody, because I'm about to end this live. I've been on here for a very long time. This is the biggest one, most important one, and I pray this frees somebody. I did not believe that it would get any better than him. There you have it. There you have it. That's the truth. I did not believe that it would get any better than him. I thought that was as good as it gets. That's the truth. Paradise J, I don't know why. Why would people envy me? Unless they envy my growth. I don't know what the fuck they envy. Like, what are you over here envying for? Bitch, you ain't got peace in your life? My nigga, you don't. There's so many more people that are way well off more than me, and they just, that's all you can do is be envious. Like, that is sick. That's disgusting. My nigga, what is it? Heavy is the head that wears the crown. People don't know. What you envy, you can't carry, bitch. That's what I can tell anybody that will be sitting their ass up watching me on any platform. And be, if people really are truly envious like that out here in these streets toward me, you are fucking sick. You have, baby, you have no idea. You really need to get a fucking hobby. Bitch, learn how to crochet or knit or something, but do not come for me. You are just, you can't be envious of me. For fucking what? Y'all making my ass itch at this point. I really thought it would never get better than him. Little did I know I was scraping the bottom of the fucking barrel being with his ass. And that ain't no shade, that's reality. That is reality. One more thing, and then I'm gonna have a closing statement. I knew something was wrong when, after I ran and I went back to an auto body shop that was helping me with little bitty things on my vehicle. Two Mexicans, one of a father-son auto body shop, really cool people. I had went back there because I was getting ready to relocate and I needed my car looked at before I got on the road. And as I was getting ready to leave out, the father put me in the break room. Told me, you want some coffee? You can drink some coffee. So we sat down, and the father left, and the son came in. Mind you, y'all, the son looks like he was fine too, y'all. The son looks like the brother who played AB on Selena. He looked like Selena's brother on that actual movie. He was just a little bit taller, real fine now. I had bought a car off of an auction block before we split. And the car ran, but it needed AC. Now, mind you, I bought this car during the summer fall in Arizona. Okay. Some of y'all wondering why I'm looking like this. All right, I'm gonna help you peep the little game. Arizona heat is 125 to 130 degrees Fahrenheit on an easy day. Okay? I needed AC. I didn't want it. I needed AC in this car. So I took this car to that auto body shop. This was before the split, before I ran now. He was getting off of work and met me at the auto body shop. I don't know for what reason. I don't know. Anyway. Now, I take the car to the shop. They said something about it. They troubleshooted like the minor issues, and it wasn't the issue. Like it wasn't it. And because of the type of car it was, I might have needed to take it to the dealer. And so I knew that was going to be a lot of money. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I need to flip my funds or at least get the money back, amount of money back that I spent on this car. Because remember, I got it off the auction block. So I'm like, okay, I need to put this motherfucker up for sale. So this is what ends up happening. We leave that shop at the same time. It's 121, 122, 123 degrees. I don't have no AC. So I open up all the windows in the car, and I'm driving back to the house like this. Wasn't fast forward after I ran now. I'm taking you somewhere after I ran. And after I finally got rid of the car, and I ended up getting the one that I'm in now, I went back to get this one checked to make sure when I got on the road, I would be fine. The son, while I'm in the break room drinking coffee, says to me, I said to him, I said, I bet you did not think that he was a covert narcissist and that I went through this much with him. Because we ended up getting on the conversation of, because he asked me certain questions and that led me to say certain things, and then he asked more questions. So anyway, you know how that snowball effect, right? So I said, you wouldn't have thought, he was like that, huh? And then he says, nah, no, I seen it. Just like that. And I looked and I said, how? And he said, I knew he wasn't a real man when he let you leave in that car that had no AC while he drove off in that truck that had all the AC. Then it hit me. It hit me. He could see it. I wasn't by myself. My eyes was not playing tricks on me. My ears, I heard what I heard. The man said he could see it. Nah, I believe you. I could see it. It hit me that, yeah, he did let me leave like that. He didn't try to help me fix the car issue. He didn't try to help me nothing. This man got mad at me because he had to sell some of his stuff in order to pay some of his car note because he got fired. He was mad at me that he had, listen to me, he was mad at me that he had to sell some of his shit so he could pay for his car note because he got fired. And he, listen, I wouldn't have mind helping to pay for shit if he would have treated me better. Listen, my mind was no longer in that marriage. My body was there, but I was already out the door. So what the fuck I want to help you for? Out of all these years, you're here in America because of me. You're not in America because of your own merit. You're not, you know, he talking about scamming this and how Nigerians be scamming to get their way in America. Bitch, you scammed me. You made me think you was here for love. Nigga, you was here thinking you was going to get a better life. You scammed me. You fucked me over. And purposely wanted a child with me after we lost a child so you could stay connected to me, knowing that you wouldn't even give a fuck about your own child. Do y'all think he sent a payment here for me? He know where the fuck I'm at. He lived over here before. I haven't got 1 ounce of money from him to take care of his child. Why does the court system have to tell you to do what you should be doing already if you're a real man? You be sending money back to Africa for your firstborn child. I should have left your ass then because you created her on me. So now we got, what, 3 alleged children. But no, my dumb, gullible country ass was like, I can accept her as my own. And by the time we got over there, he didn't even want me to even spend time with the child. But yet, I'm good enough to buy a birthday present, though, that you can give to her on my behalf. But you didn't want me to bond or spend time with her. The fuck is that? I say all that to say this in my closing thoughts. For those of you who've been sticking it out this far, the reason why I ended up married to this fucking narc is because of the family dynamic that I grew up in. And I did not realize that when you're born and raised in a narcissistic family dynamic, that you fall either under 1 or 2 categories. You either become a narcissist or you are groomed to be a narcissistic supply. And what I did not know was that, fortunately for me, I was not a narc. But unfortunately, I was being groomed to be a supply. And therefore, me being an empath and a healer, unfortunately, the same nectar that butterflies and hummingbirds will drink off of is the same ones that moths and other types of bugs will gravitate toward. Just, it is what it is. I did not understand that I was groomed to be a narcissistic supply until today. And I was driving home. So I encourage everybody to please use this Saturn retrograde time to go into, if you resonated with anything that I've said so far, please go. Please, y'all, please. This is important for you and your well-being. YouTube, and I'm tired of y'all motherfuckers messing with the algorithm and shit. I really am. I'm really tired of y'all ass. I really am tired. Are you gonna let a nigga be great at this point? Because when I was doing celebrity readings and talking all kind of shit, I was getting 1.5, 2K, this much views, and I'm hardly getting anything. We know y'all motherfuckers is manipulating the algorithms, bitch. We know We're tired of that shit. What the fuck are you getting off for? Anyway, I'm sorry. I just had to rant. Like, people tired. The content creators is the ones who is making y'all. Why would you fuck over the people who are making your platform? Anyway, let me. Karma will take care of that. Kali gonna take care. I ain't, nah. Somebody's been fucking with my shit. I don't care what nobody's saying. Anyway, please, I behoove y'all. Go search your past. Research your past. If you know that your track record shows narcs, if you can look back in your track records of dating and or marriages, whether it's one or more, it don't matter, and you can see that you couldn't attract a man that vibrated no higher than this, and they only vibrated this on down, go back and view your family dynamic. I don't care how big or how small your family is. You need to get clear and honest with yourself. What kind of family dynamic did you grow up in? Who was vilified the most in your life? And who was glorified the most in your life? You will be surprised of the revelations that was hidden. The one that you might have glorified may have been darker than what you think. And the one that you vilified may have some revelatory things that you may have not thought you would have gleaned. Now, when I was a little kid, when I was small, before the divorce, I glorified my daddy. After the divorce, I glorified my mother up until my adulthood. So my mom got more glorification out of me than my father did. I only glorified my father in certain aspects because I admired the fact that he was an instinctual man. My father was like a fucking wolf. That nigga could smell shit happening down the road, across the street, over the lake, over the Mississippi. He could, somebody fighting. What the fuck that got to do with smells? Like, my daddy was that instinctual. My father was not a dumb man. My daddy was extremely street smart. He couldn't read or write. But my father, as far as common sense and street smarts, he was no dummy. And he was definitely no fool. Now, my mama was the book smart person. But my daddy, all the survival skills, modes, that was him. I admired that in my daddy. My father was a hustler. He was a specific type of, he was a hustler. I felt like you could, drop my daddy in any place in the world and he would figure it out. And that's how I felt about my own self. Still to this day, I still feel like you can drop me anywhere in the world and I'm gonna figure out how to survive. Not doing no ugly, evil shit. I'm not on that. Y'all go search your family dynamics. I even want to, y'all, I even want to even say, what's in your 4th house? What's in your 7th house? Your 8th house. 7th house is hidden enemies. 8th house is open enemies. Your 4th house is your roots, family dynamics, ancestry, the start of things. That's what sits there, lies there. I think even inheritances is there. These are things that you want to look at. I also want to say this. Please don't let people do your birth chart for you. You may want to look into that yourself. People use birth charts to hurt you. That same girl that sang Letter to My Unborn Child, who I thought was my sister, who I thought was my very, very close friend, she had my birth chart. That's how this witch coven was able to attack me and hurt me. She had my birth chart. So I'm going to say this. For everything you've done to me, and for everything that you attempted to do to me and it didn't work, is now going to be done to you 100-fold or more. And that's non-reversible. I had a vision of her riding a bike and her mind was gone and her locks were all fucked up. You do not mess with a child of God and think you can get away with it. You never will. You never will. And I'm going to tell you, like Tupac said, I, unlike y'all hoes, can look in the mirror and see my soul. My soul is definitely there. I didn't sell it. Can't say the same about you motherfuckers I left back on the West Coast. But I know I can speak for me. And that's why I end my life with this. If I had to leave you there, nigga, you buried in my mind. I done had a funeral for you and everything. And I don't resurrect the dead. You're going to stay dead. You can't even be ghosted at this. You ain't no ghost, nothing, nowhere. Ain't no apparition. You're dead. Bitch, second death and all. You can't come back. Ain't no do not pass go. Do not collect $200. That is it. You cannot come back in my life. I don't give a fuck about an apology at this point. No. You're going to take your lick. I don't even want to see what the fuck is coming for you. At this point, I don't care. I'm going to live my best life. I'm going to be living my best life. Thank God I will be. I am, in Jesus' name, living my best life. And I pray for me, it only gets better from here. And I'm not worried about no fucking relationship, no niggas and shit like that. That's done. All that betrayal I done went through, even with this little friend issue I done had recently, fuck that. No. No. I ain't about that life. I pray y'all get love. Invite me to the weddings. I'll go to the weddings. But fuck all that other shit. No. I ain't about to set myself up. I didn't learn too many hard ass lessons. And them bitches hurt too much for me to repeat anything. So what I will do is sit back, love on me, do me, and let the chips fall where they may. Because I'm not opening myself up to any friendships or relationships. They say prophets are supposed to have a lonely journey. The fuck, am I supposed to be in the wilderness eating locusts and honey right now at this point? Because that's what it feels like. It's lonely as fuck. I don't see how y'all niggas can envy anybody with the fuck are y'all envying? Do y'all know? Y'all, that shit is... This ain't for the weak, no. This is some painful shit. Fuck are y'all envying? Pain? Like, at this point, make it make sense, yo. Like, I'm laughing at niggas like, what the fuck you envying? Nigga, a thorn? The knife in my back that I just had to pull out yesterday? Or are you envying the dart that one of my family members just blew in my fucking thigh? Like, what are you envying at this point? Niggas is weird, yo. Like, I don't get it. You need to learn you, do you, and be you, bitch. Because ain't nobody got time. Nobody should have any kind of time to be envying nobody. Niggas is weird for real, like in a horrible way. Y'all. I always said I never let nobody affect the way I love. I never let nobody affect the way I love. Don't say what you listen. I ain't open. I ain't taking resumes. None of that. Leave me the fuck alone. What about your business? Leave me alone. That's where I'm at. Leave me the fuck alone. Real nigga shit. You an admirer, bitch. Admire from afar. That's why you over there. That's why you ain't said nothing yet. Keep admiring from over there. I don't need nobody with ill intentions approaching me for shit. I've been through too much. I've survived too much. And I don't care how many men watching this views me as a black angry woman. You can call me whatever the fuck you want to. I don't give a shit. I ain't mad and I ain't bitter. I'm doing what everybody else failed to do for me, which is protect me. I didn't have no protector. I didn't have no guidance. And the little guidance that I did have, thank God that they were sent. Because these people made impacts on me. Outside of that, I don't give a fuck about nothing else. Except for my kids and myself. That's it. Everything else can fall by the wayside. God is always going to be in my life. I always walk with the love of God. Outside of that, I don't give a fuck anymore. I always used to say to myself, how do those women get to a place where they don't believe in love no more? They don't want, like, I always be saying to myself, like, damn, what happened to her so bad that makes her not want to get into a relationship again? And they used to always say, oh, I hope I don't get there, and I hope I don't feel like that. Let me tell you, don't be so quick to judge. Those women who we see like that, they done been through some shit. And they've survived and lived to tell it. Some of them don't even tell it because they don't even want to relive the pain. So they bottle it up and just try to move on as best as they know how. They try to just avoid it and numb it. This shit is hard to regurgitate, y'all. This shit hurts. Ain't nobody trying to keep going through that shit over and over again. It seems like these niggas out here is getting worse the older they get. Like, oh no. Y'all can miss me with that shit. I love y'all. I gotta go. I know it's late. I hope y'all get sleep. I don't know when I'm coming back on this bitch, but I am taking readings. I've been taking readings. I didn't stop taking readings. Information is in the description box. Whatever. I do love y'all. Stay safe out here in these streets. Guard your heart, for out of it flows the issues of life. And don't be afraid to go savage mode on a motherfucker, especially if God gives you the ability and the allowance to do so. Go as savage mode as possible. Oh, now I'm sounding like a Baptist preacher. This is why I want to say why I call this thing Kratos, like after the God of War. One of my favorite video games to play was the God of War. I done played several of God of Wars. One in particular I have is 5, right? And I noticed that, you know, in the beginning when you're playing a video game, it asks you what difficulty level you want to set it on. And God of War has a certain way of naming their levels. It don't say easy, normal, hard. insane mode. The highest one I think is called God mode or God level. Life lately has been feeling like you living in on God mode. Like, why does it feel like life is just the difficulties like extra why has it been extra fucking hard lately? Like, why has it been extremely hard to like press through, push through, all this other stuff? But I noticed that when you play on God mode, not easy, not normal, not hard, but God mode, even if you go up from easy to normal or normal to hard or hard to God mode, I noticed that if you pick a different mode, even though the levels are harder to beat, the weapons that he acquires are better than what you would acquire on easy mode or mode lower. So there's gears and equipment that you would get that is way more flyer and way more does more damage than you would get on easy mode. And I'm noticing that maybe some of us have been put on certain difficulty levels because of the things that we need to acquire to move to the next level, because there may be something on that level that we don't see at this time that in this hour we're being prepared to handle. That's it. I love y'all. I hope this helped y'all. Till next time. Peace out.